Yes, the story. What is the Carthage story? It's a story where people roll up their sleeves, they get the work of the world done. They figure out what the world needs and how they can contribute. And that's what's been important to me, is to sense that kind of spirit or soul of the institution over generations and what brings people together. I mean, what will be true for Carthage in the future won't be the same as what was true in the past, but the history and the culture are the same, and it's that continuity that's going to keep it strong. What stuck out to me about Carthage's history is how deeply rooted it is, even in the town it came from in Carthage, Illinois. So even in 1870, Carthage College was a place that was asking, what does the world need and how are we going to help students provide that? So it was educating men and women. It was providing a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science. So it was asking those questions even then, and that's the sort of spirit that I see here today. I've traveled the country to meet Carthaginians wherever they are. We had a large event in Kenosha. We've had several events in Chicago. We've gone to Minneapolis, Phoenix, Southern California, and the story's been consistent. I met Jim Miller, class of '97, came to Carthage to play baseball. He was cut from the baseball team his sophomore year, but he didn't accept that. And so he threw the ball around his junior year. He came back as a senior, was put on the team, and then he was drafted by the Brewers. Another super example is Karen Evans, class of '78 that I met in Chicago. She said that her parents told her she didn't need to go to college, but her brothers should. And she didn't accept that. And so she got on a train to Chicago, and she got on a train from Chicago to Kenosha. And she decided that she would enroll in Carthage College. I love these stories because they represent that spirit of Carthaginians not accepting that the world is simply going to work out for them, but that with hard work and determination, they can make the world a better place. I think Carthage has an atmosphere of flexibility. It's not a place that's been rigid. It's not a place that's decided that there's only one way to educate and that was decided years ago and we simply need to follow it. It's more dynamic than that. So faculty and students can create their own projects. We can have organizations that persist over time, but they can also evolve. Paul Salseder is a great example of what I would think of as breaking down artificial boundaries or pushing those boundaries. So here's a student who was developing his own talent as an artist, and then we invited him to paint a mural in the library. And after seeing that, we had scientists in our new Strass Center ask, what if you could paint a mural in the science building? He's not simply learning, he's not simply doing a class project, but he's doing something of meaning and significance that will last. There's some great examples of groups and a legacy over time and how they can affect the world. I met students who were on the CubeSat project, and so I simply asked them that kind of basic question, so what is each of you doing? And immediately they had the roles, they had the timelines, they had the deadlines they were trying to meet, and it was clear that they were getting a lot of work done over the summer, and they were quite concerned that they had to meet the specifications NASA had. Another example is our biannual trip to Nicaragua, where students and faculty come together. And yes, they learn some tropical ecology and some history, but they also have a deeply meaningful experience volunteering in a rural medical clinic. And they've also set up a Carthage field station to improve the water quality on the island. So again, it's an example of analysis and synthesis, of teaching and learning, but it's also an example of doing something in the world, getting your hands dirty, making it a better place. What makes a liberal arts education in the Carthage mold so powerful is that students are able to bring the skills and capacities they learn from lots of disciplines together, and then also try those out so that they're fully prepared for what's going to come later. We don't know how many jobs they will have. We don't know how their interest will change, but what we do know is that they've tried lots of things. They understand themselves, and they have the skills that they'll be able to bring to what they do later. So I'd say it's the same thing for Carthage College. What are our possibilities for the future? How can we be the strongest version of who we want to be? How can we draw on the values and roots of the past? How can we draw on the tremendous energy of faculty and staff here? What are the possibilities? How can that make us be stronger and yet more distinctive over time, in a way that's genuine to who we've been in the past? I'm tremendously excited to be here. Carthage is in a very strong position. We're providing a transformative education today, but I think the best years are yet to come. We'll be asking new questions about how we can provide the programs that enable students to meet the world's needs, and what facilities and other ideas we have that can make this the most distinctive education possible.